So you guys, something happened recently with my current job, or before I got my current job actually, when I was still applying, that made me realize that sometimes Christians, we Christians, we don't even have faith at all because at this point it's not even about having enough faith. The Bible literally says if you would have faith as little as a mustard seed, we all know how little that is. So like at this point, some of us don't even have faith at all because I literally prayed for something and it happened exactly how I prayed for it because I believed it was going to happen. I don't know why, I don't know how I got into that frame of mind, but like I prayed for it and it happened exactly how I prayed. And it just put me in one of those like, this is really God moments. Like, God actually did this. Like, this can only be God. Thinking about it now, it just actually reminded me of like two very, you know, how do I put it now? Two scenarios actually that happened while I was still in school. Looking back now, it actually feels like that was a miracle because it could only have been God. It might actually seem little, but then it boils down to praying. My ring light is off. Or anyways, it boils down to actually praying about every single thing, right? Because in my first year, I had this assignment I was supposed to submit. Actually, it was a 10 paper that we were asked to do, and I did mine. But you know, when first year we're new, so sometimes you can make mistakes with these things. And then arranging the preliminary pages, I think I actually made a mistake because but I was outside the lecturer's office and there was someone else inside, so I could literally hear what they were discussing from like outside the door where I was standing. The door was open, the curtain and everything. So I was telling the person to take this thing back. I think it was about the preliminary pages and one was supposed to come before the other, and what he was correcting was exactly the same mistake I made. And I had corrected these things like how many times at this point I didn't want to go back and waste another money printing out any pages anymore. So I was telling this person to actually like go back and remove these preliminary pages and reprint it and bind and whatever. So at that moment, I just knew I don't want to go through this stress again. I don't want to go through this stress again. So I just said a very short prayer. God, please let him not see this mistake. I don't want to go back and print this thing again. I entered the office, submitted my 10 paper. He went through it, just flipped through the pages. It was exactly the same mistake the other person had made. I kid you not. He didn't say anything. He just dropped it. And it wasn't because I was a babe. The other person was also a babe and she was fine. And again, like he wasn't being like very fast about it. He actually calmed down, went through it and told me, okay, you can go. And I got an A on that course. Like, and remembering it now, I just knew that I've had several moments like that where I just say prayer and then God just answers immediately. And I'm like, why? Like, so why do I sometimes find it difficult to just pray about these things? Like, just pray about it. What's the worst that can happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen?